to have her join us today. Dr. Hill is an educational advisor and scientific skills coach in the NIH Office of Intramural Training and Education. Although she enjoys doing research and helping improve human health, she finds the true enjoyment in teaching the next generation of physicians and scientists. Prior to joining OITE in 2023, Dr. Hill was an independent research scholar directing her own independent research program in intramural research program at the NIH National Institute of Arthritis and Musculoskeletal Injury. In the OITE, Dr. Hill provides educational advising for both pre-med and pre-grad fellows in the intramural research program at NIH. Additionally, she directs the college summer opportunities to advance research and the community college summer enrichment program. Dr. Hill has a bachelor's degree in chemistry from Cal State University, San Bernardino, and a doctorate of philosophy in biomedical sciences from the Wright State University. And she completed her postdoctoral training at NIH in dermatology branch of the NIMAMS, formerly known as NCI, National Cancer Institute. So thank you for joining us today.
Yes, and thank you so much for the introduction, and welcome everybody to the webinar this evening. Today, I'm going to talk to you all about training opportunities that we offer for undergraduates, including community college students at the NIH. And so here's my outline for this evening's discussion. We're going to talk about what NIH is for those of you who are not familiar, our summer internship programs, our undergraduate scholarship program, as well as our postbac program, give you some tips on the application process to help you facilitate that and address any of your questions. So what is the NIH? Well, we're the nation's biomedical research institute. We actually have one of the largest research hospitals on our campus, and our mission is to improve the health of our nation by conducting and supporting research. So we conduct and support research in two ways. So conducting research, we do that in the intramural research program, which is where NIH faculty conduct research. And we support research through the extramural programs, which is where we provide institutional funding for academic institutions outside of the NIH. So within the NIH, we have 27 institutes and centers, and if any of you ever end up at the NIH, we are very acronym heavy. And so we call these ICs, and you will hear that a lot when you come to NIH. And the first time you hear it, I promise you, you will be confused, because I was. So our institutes focus on diseases or disease systems, and we do research anywhere from the basic science to clinical science. And so here I just have a virtual tour. Here's a link for you. If you come and watch this on the website, you can type in this URL and go to our virtual tour and see what the NIH looks like. So as I mentioned, we have 27 institutes and centers. Here's an exhaustive list of the institutes and centers that do research within the intramural research program. And so most of you have probably heard of the National Cancer Institute, but some of our smaller institutes, such as NCATS, which is the National Center for Advancing Translational Science, you've probably never heard of. And so this is just a list just to give you an idea of how many institutes there are, the different areas of research that we do, from lung and blood to genomics to aging and infectious disease, which you probably become familiar with learning about Dr. Fauci during our recent pandemic. And so our institutes are housed across the United States. So we have labs in what we call the Rocky Mountains or Hamilton, Montana. And this is a picture of the facility out there in the Rocky Mountains where they do allergy and infectious disease research. We have research in Phoenix, Arizona, which is close to California. For those of you who are in Southern California, you may have gone to Phoenix once or twice. And so this is our NIDDK. And so that's Diabetes and Kidney Disease Institute. And then we have several institute or campuses in Maryland. So we have the Frederick campus, which houses NCI. We have Baltimore, which actually has two institutes, the National Institute on Aging and the National Institute of Drug Abuse. And then we have the Bethesda area, and I say area because we have campuses in different cities right outside of Bethesda, but we consider those part of the main campus. And then here's our satellite view or our sky view of the clinical center, which is that big research hospital on the NIH campus. This is where a lot of labs are housed, as well as where our clinical research takes place. We also have labs in Massachusetts, at least 2 or 3 labs in Massachusetts, part of the Lung and Blood Institute. And then our last campus is in North Carolina, and that's the National Institute of Environmental Health Science. So that should be NIEHS, where we conduct, like I said, the internal research arm of the NIH, where we do biomedical, behavioral, or social science research. And like I said before, we have opportunities in basic, translational, and clinical science. And we're a very collaborative group. So you'll see that institutes collaborate with each other as well as extramurally with academic institutions across the nation. So what does our intramural research program look like? Well, we have about 1,200 principal investigators that our fellows work for. We have staff scientists, which are more like senior scientists and have been at the NIH for a while. We have postdocs, individuals who most recently completed their doctoral degree. We also house graduate students. So for those of you who are interested in maybe doing graduate school, after you finish your undergrad, we do have opportunities for you to do your graduate work at the NIH. We also have medical students, for those of you who are on the pre-med track and maybe interested in research for the long term. We have post-bac positions as well as summer internship positions. And so I'm really going to talk mostly about the post-bac and summer intern positions, but I may highlight a little bit of the graduate and medical school students, just in case some of you are transitioning there very soon. So when you think about what levels or opportunities there are for undergraduates, as well as even some of you who have just recently completed high school and are moving into community college fairly soon, we also have opportunities for you as well. Most of you will be involved in the summer internship program, but some of you, for those of you who have a financial need, may get involved with our undergraduate scholars program. And I'm going to talk about all of these programs in detail momentarily. But after you finish your undergrad, you can join us for a 1 to 2 year post-bac, where we can prepare you for, medical school by giving you a lot of research opportunities, as well as getting you some clinical training, if that's what you're interested in. And so we'll discuss that further momentarily. So first, let's discuss the summer internship. So what will a summer intern do? Well, the summer internship at NIH is about an 8 to 10 week opportunity. And for the most part, it is an in-person experience. We do have a small cohort of about 20 spots that are virtual, and those are usually maintained or reserved for individuals who really cannot transition or move to one of our, NIH campuses. And so while you're at the NIH, you'll be doing some meaningful work, learning about research, and as well as getting involved in that research and moving projects forward. You'll be mentored and supervised by scientists. You'll get an opportunity to present your research at the end of summer. We have a graduate and professional fair that all of you will be invited to explore biomedical science related careers and opportunities and next steps. So where do our summer interns actually work at? Well, the great majority of them work on the main campus in Bethesda or in the local areas like Rockville. About 60 to 50 work in Baltimore, Frederick, and in North Carolina. And smaller numbers work in Hamilton, Montana, Framingham, Massachusetts, and Phoenix, Arizona. And so most people are really interested in what kind of research we have going on at the NIH, and we have a wide variety of research from biomedical engineering all the way to virology, systems biology, genetics, genomics, health disparities, anything that's biomedical, we pretty much have at the NIH. Now, it takes a while to find the research that you're interested in, but we do have links on our training website that'll help you facilitate your search to find research labs that you're interested in and maybe getting an opportunity to apply to one of our programs and doing research in those labs. So in addition to the research that you'll be doing over the summer, you'll also get the opportunity to get involved in some of our workshops. So we have graduate and professional school preparation workshops that we host during the summer to give you much needed advice on how to prepare your applications and be successful in the process of preparing for medical school and or graduate school. We also have career development and skills workshops for those of you who'd rather, after undergrad, maybe take a couple years and get a job and explore the career field before you step onto your next step of education. Then we also have resilience, leadership, and mentor training for those of you who are interested. We have a very comprehensive wellness program. We host a summer journal club exclusively for our summer interns to take part in. We have networking sessions, and like I said, we have two major events: your poster day for the summer interns, as well as the graduate and professional fair, where I think last year we had about 270 schools come out and talk about the programs that they have for graduate medical school, veterinarian, dental school, whatever professional career you can think of. We had somebody here at NIH to talk to. So there are several or multiple NIH summer programs. We have what we call SIP, or the General Summer Internship Program, which houses about 30 spots. So this program, there's no selection committee. Students are actually advised to reach out and choose a research group and contact those research groups to help facilitate the selection of their application. There are also certain institutes or centers, like I said, IC sponsored cohort programs that host their own programs. I have a list of them here. To find out more about those programs, you will have to contact the training directors of those institutes to find out more about their specific cohort training programs. Our office, the Office of Intramural Training, or OITE, also hosts several programs. We have the CSET program, the CSOR program, which I'm going to go into more detail because I'm the director of those programs. We have VSOR, which I mentioned, which is the about 20 spots for a virtual summer opportunity, and then a graduate program and a medical school student program. So when we think about the eligibility criteria for the general SIP, we take high school students, community college students, undergraduates, graduate students, and professional students. You must be enrolled at least half-time in school, and you must be, at least for next summer, 18 by June 1st. For the summer internship, you have to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, and the deadlines for the IC specific and the OIT specific cohorts may be slightly different than this deadline that I have listed here for the general SIP of February 19th for your application, and February 26th for your references to submit their letter. And we'll discuss more about the application when I take you through the process in subsequent slides. And so here, a little bit more about the timeline. Like I said, it's about a 10-week period. You're eligible to start your summer internship as early as May 15th, and our poster day is August 8th. And so when you think about the likelihood of actually getting a position at the NIH as a summer intern, it's more likely the earlier you apply and have a complete application. Okay, so our OITE summer internship sub-programs. So like I said, we have the CSIP program, and this is for community college students. We have the CSOR program, which is for college students at four-year colleges or universities. And we have the VSOR program, which is for students who need a virtual opportunity because for whatever reason, they cannot come physically to one of our NIH campuses. So these programs are hosted by our office, so your stipend comes from us. These positions, there's about 60 positions. You do not need to select a mentor. You will be placed by our committees in our office with your mentor if your application is selected for one of these programs. And the nice thing about these programs are the deadline for submission is about a month before the closing of the general SIP. So it gives you an opportunity, if you are not selected for one of these programs, to opt in to have your application transferred to the general SIP so that you can still be selected after contacting a mentor. So again, applications for our OIT cohort are due on the 8th, and your references are due by January 15th. So a bit more about my programs since I direct them. I direct the Community College Summer Enrichment Program, which is for full-time. So you have to be a full-time community college student interested in STEM who have minimal or are lacking substantial research opportunities during the academic year. I also direct the College Summer Opportunity to Advance Research, or CSOR program, which is for, again, students who are full-time at a four-year college or university as an undergrad in a STEM program that have, for whatever reason, lacking research experience, okay? And when we talk about lacking research experience, we're not talking about a research-based class that you had to take. And in some cases, we're not even talking about a short, like 6-8 week summer opportunity. We're talking about substantial research, multiple years in labs doing physical hands-on research. So what will you be doing? Both CSEP and CSOR students will be conducting research in state-of-the-art facilities, participating in host laboratory activities. You will have this year a one-day orientation. There are mandatory workshops that we have for your mentoring and skills development, and you'll have access to career counseling because your director is also an educational advisor. So I will be advising you on your next steps if you wish. You will also have direct contact with your mentors, your laboratory mentors, on a daily basis, as well as me whenever you need me. So to be eligible, like I said, for the CSEP program, you have to be full-time community college student, have 2 or more science-related or math classes, be majoring in STEM or a health-related field, be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, have a strong interest in gaining research experience, and you're going to want to explain what your strong interest in this research that you want to gain in your personal statement that's going to go with your application, as well as your career goals. Have no prior or limited experience in a laboratory, and you can't be part of a dual program, so a high school or a 4-year college. But if you are part of a 4-year college dual program, you can apply to CSOR. So again, CSOR, full-time college student at a 4-year university, again, majoring in a STEM field, U.S. citizen, strong interest in gaining some research experience, and lacking the opportunity to get involved in research. So they both have the same criteria. One is just a 4-year for a 4-year student, and one is for a community college student. And so we will be selecting applicants in January and hopefully contacting you in February. Like I said, CSEP and CSOR applicants are not required to contact NIH PIs. We will match you with PIs based upon your research interests, and our committee will place you in those labs. So what are our expectations of you? Well, we expect you to be working full-time, so interns are expected to devote about 40 hours a week to their research, as well as the training opportunities that we will host for you. Interns are expected to conduct themselves professionally while at NIH and conduct research in an ethical manner. And we will have a whole series on ethics once you get to the NIH. So unfortunately, because this is a full-time position, we don't allow interns to take outside coursework, such as summer classes at your home university or college. And like I said, there are mandatory training programs and educational workshops that CSEP and CSORT students must attend, in addition to going to the graduate and professional school fair and the summer poster day. So again, the deadline for the OIT cohort programs to submit your application is January 8th. Your references need to be submitted by the 15th. The cohort starts on June 2nd and ends on the 8th for a total of 10 weeks. And the likelihood of you getting your application submitted is the same no matter what month you apply in, because we look at all applications that meet the eligibility criteria. So how do you apply for the general SIP? So for those of you who are not applying for for CSEP and CSOR, you still have to fill out the online application. But in addition, for general SIP, you need to reach out or do the second step of reaching out to principal investigators, contacting them to see if they're interested in hosting you in their group. But if you're applying to CSEP and CSOR and you're selected to CSEP and CSOR, we will match you with a mentor. So now I'm going to transition to talk about the NIH Undergraduate Scholarship Program, or UGSP. So UGSP was authorized by Congress in 1994 and established by the NIH in 96. And it offers a scholarship to college students who are financially disadvantaged and committed to doing health-related research in careers such as biomedical, behavioral, and social science. So what does this offer? Well, the benefits are that we provide up to $20,000 a year to cover educational experiences. To be eligible, once again, you need to be a US citizen or permanent resident, have a GPA of a 3.3 or better, and have exceptional financial need. And of course, be in a STEM field. There's also a payback program for all applicants who receive the scholarship. And so what is the payback program? Well, you have to participate in the summer internship program and dedicate a year for each scholarship you're awarded to the NIH. So it's basically a payback of 62 weeks, 10 of those weeks coming from the summer internship, and 52 of those weeks coming from a year-long postback that you would be working, so you'd still get paid while you're there, to basically do a payback. And in some cases, students can defer their time to do the payback till after they complete their graduate school or medical school. And so, like I said, this is a scholarship program for those with financial need. And so again, you're going to fill out the application. This is the link to fill out the application for UGSP. There is a selection committee that reads holistically all of the applications and selects the top applications for interview. And then the top applicants from the interview are selected to be a part of the program. Now, lastly, we have the postback program. So why do you want to do a postback at the NIH? Well, because we do great research, of course, right? Because you get an opportunity to build your professional career and personal skills. And you also get the opportunity to prepare for graduate school, medical school, professional school, and or jobs. You gain access to outstanding resources for science and for your career. We have, like I said, a comprehensive wellness or well-being staff and program, and you get the opportunity to live in one of these great metropolitan areas, whether that be DC, Baltimore, Phoenix, or Research Triangle, or more commonly Durham, North Carolina. So NIH postback program is 1 or 2 years of full-time research. It's paid and it has other benefits, which include health insurance if you need it. And if you're in the DC area, we also have a transportation subsidy, which allows you to actually ride the metro for free for 20 days a month to go to and from work. And then we also support what we call FAES, which is kind of like a graduate school within NIH, or that's kind of associated with NIH. We can allow you some support to take classes through there. So most postbacks do begin in June or July. And following their transition into NIH, there's a mandatory OIT orientation that they start. And again, like I said, you have access to an extensive educational program. Now, when you think about your eligibility or when it is that you can be a postbac. So when you think about education levels, if you've gotten your BS, you need to be within 3 years of earning that degree. If you have a master's, you need to be within 6 months of earning that degree to start the postbac program. Once again, you have to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. Excuse me. Multiple locations, postbacs are housed on any one of our campuses across the United States. The application is open year-round. There is no central selection process. So here, once you fill out an application, you must contact mentors and see if they're interested in hosting a postbac. There's no deadlines. Postbacs are selected by PIs, and they're usually selected by PIs who they've reached out to. And this can lead to a variety of start dates since it's open all year long. And so, like I said, most postbacs start in June and July, but you can start any year, or excuse me, any month of the year. So payment, we do have a stipend, and you can view the stipend on our training website. And it's based on the relevant research experience that you gain through your bachelor's degree. At the NIH, we do not provide housing, but we do have a move plan, which you can also find on our NIH training website. The OITE also sponsors a postbac or a cohort postbac program, which we call the OITE PEP program or a postbac enrichment program. And so once again, if with this program, you need to be within a year of getting your bachelor's degree to apply for it. They give preference to students who have a lack or minimal research experience. And there is a deadline for this one. So this application for the PEP postbac program, the application deadline is January 10th. And then there's a selection process where if your application is selected and you're interviewed and you're selected for the PEP program, that they will match you with your mentor. So you don't need to go out and reach mentors. We did have a webinar on October 28th. If you would like to have that recording of that webinar, please let Jubin know, and he can contact me and we can get you that recording. And just like any of our cohort programs, ICs do have specific sponsored postbac programs, but again, you would have to contact the individual ICs or institutes and centers. So I've been mentioning a lot about educational program that we have at OIT. So we do have workshops, like I said, graduate professional school workshops, career exploration workshops, professional development workshop, as well as scientific skills. We have a workshop called Being a Resilient Scientist. If you've never heard of it, you as a community college student right now at your school, whenever we have this workshop, you're welcome to attend because it comes with the virtual option. So all you have to do is go to the events page on our OIT website and register for our workshops. You can watch them now. You do not need to be an NIH fellow to engage in our online hybrid workshops, okay? So we also have some leadership and diversity and mentoring workshops. Those unfortunately are not hybrid, they're in person. So if you do become part of the postbac program, that would be something specifically geared towards you. We also have OIT Career Services and Education Center. So we do professional skills We do pre-med advising, we do graduate school advising, we have, personal statement writing workshops, as well as courses, mock interview opportunities that postbacks get to engage in to really prepare themselves for their next step. We also have well-being program and resources to maintain your mental health as you're at the NIH and preparing for medical school, because those can be stressful processes. And specifically for our NIH postbacks, we have the NIH Academy on Health Disparities. This is a course that's only available to postbacks. And so it's a great opportunity to learn about health disparities and actually get some community service in the realm of health disparities within the DC area. We have the Translational Science Training Program and the Health Sciences Communication and Policies Program. These are all great opportunities that postbacks get to engage in. Postbacks also have their own poster day where they're judged. And so postback posters get judged, and the top, I think it's 20% of posters are selected as, poster winners. You're also invited to our graduate and professional fair, and you can also attend the NIH Career Symposium, which is hosted in May. That gives you an opportunity for those of you who decide you want to go straight into a career, what opportunities are out there. So OITE well-being, here's a list of, like I said, our well-being resources. And so we have our well-being advising, that is their website, or excuse me, their email address. The Becoming a Resilient Scientist series is from September to November. So next fall, if you're interested, please feel free to come to the NIH website and sign up for those events. For postbacks, we also have mental health and well-being series that will be starting in the spring. We have a Thriving Thursdays, we have journaling, we have meditation, we have drop-in groups, we have a lot of things just for your mental health while you're at the NIH, because we want you to be happy and healthy and grow scientifically and reach that next step in your career. We also have NIH training communities. And so we have multiple different affinity groups that you're welcome to engage with, or you're welcome to engage with all of them. I know they seem to have specific niches of what they associate with, but they all work together and host activities as one unit as well as have their own individual lunches and monthly meetings. So if you find this advantageous, or you want to get involved in leadership roles within an affinity group, please join, visit them. If you come to the NIH, it'll be a great opportunity. Additionally, we have a postback committee, a very large postback committee, which, they do social service, community service, health and wellness. They have seminars, they do outreach, they get involved with a lot of things within NIH as well as outside of NIH. We also have a variety of different, like I said, communities within the NIH. We have scientific interest groups. We have an NIH research festival and a number of journal clubs, IC retreats, and other seminars. And so whatever you're interested in, you can probably find it here at the NIH. So how do you apply to be a summer intern, a UGSP, or a postback? Well, you're going to start with the application system. So for most cases, it's going to be a two-step process, right? You're going to go to the first step, which is completing the application. So that's going to be developing your profile online, completing your application for the specific group that you're applying for, and having your reference requests sent out so that your references can submit their letters. In some cases, like if you're in the post or interested in the postback program or the general SIP, you're going to identify a research group, contact the investigators, and do whatever interview process and hope for an offer that you can accept. So let's go through the two-step process. So first, we're going to talk about completing the profile. And so this is the website. This is the email address that you're going to type in to sign up for the postback program, really for any of them. The summer internship, they're all the same. You are not going to enter, even if you are at the NIH now, you are not going to enter your username and password and use the Authenticator app. You are going to sign on with one of these, your Google account, your Microsoft account, whichever one you use or is most convenient for you is what you're going to use to log in and create an account. And then you're going to go here to create new account. This nice little screen is going to pop up and it's going to, you're going to fill out your information and create account. And then once you create account, you need to work through your profile. Excuse me. So in your profile, you're going to want to put your contact information, address, citizenship, education level, educational experiences, coursework. And when we say coursework, we're not talking about biology 101, right? We're talking about like biology of plants or ecology, the full name of the course, right? You're going to put the contact information for 3 references. You can copy and paste your CV if it's in a text file. If it's in a like Microsoft Word document, you might want to save it as a simple text file before you copy it over. Okay. So like I said, creating your course, your files, or excuse me, your profile. Like I said, list your courses, including those that you're currently taking. Organize your list by college, by discipline. Like I said, course number, do not put biology 101. Nobody's going to know what that is. Be specific when you're putting this information in the system. Now, if you're a first year community college and this is your first semester, you probably have, I don't know, 4 or 5 classes that you're taking, maybe. If you're part-time, you probably only have, 2? And so consider putting your high school courses on there as well to strengthen that portion of the application. Okay. And then you're also going to want to put your references. So the name and contact of 3 references. Now, the system will allow you to put 6, but on the application, it will only accept 3. So that would be the first 3 people who respond. So you should be selecting references who know you well. So like research mentors, for those of you who do not have research mentors, your science, math, or technology professors or program directors. Do not pick your friends. Do not pick Jubin. He can't write a letter for you. Pick people who know you very well and can speak to your scientific merit and your potential success in either the summer internship program or the post-bac program or UGSP, okay? Okay, so we're still on the account profile, a concise representation of your educational and professional history. Things that you should consider including are the contact information, schools attended, research and work experience, also include your volunteer work, skills that you've acquired, languages that you speak, or other special skills that you have, your leadership and awards. We do have a CV and resume guide on our website. Please feel free to download it and use it as you need. Once you have completed your profile, you can go on to the application. And in the application, you can import whatever you need from your profile that it's important or that you want to be on the application. And so here you're going to say, my preferred program, you're going to click the box and select what program you want to go. Do you want to go to the summer internship program, the post-bac program? Graduate studies is not what you're going to be interested in if you haven't graduated from your bachelor's yet. You may want to go to the undergraduate scholarship program. Select the program that best fits your needs. And then you're going to go down here to the eligibility criteria and being wholly honest to make sure that you fit the eligibility for the program in which you're selecting. Okay. So this is the application landing page. So before you begin, read what you're filling in, of course, the application procedures, the eligibility requirements, the confirmation before you start the application. Okay. So in the application, you're going to transfer a lot of the information that you filled in the profile. And so this makes it easier if you decide that you want to apply for the summer internship now. You love your summer, so next year you're going to apply because you're going to graduate from undergrad. You're going to apply for the postbac program. All of that information is still on your profile when you come back again to apply for another program. So it just simplifies it for you. So import what you need or onto your application and move on to the next step, which is reviewing your reference information. The request, because we're going to send out a request for a reference after your application is submitted. So make sure that your reference information is correct and make sure you're using the right type of reference, a professional reference, not your high school teachers, somebody who's worked with you in college, okay? So you also want to talk about your academic accomplishments, including your grades on your courses. You want them to, so this is just an example of what you want your references to talk about. You know, your academic accomplishments, your commitments, your work ethic, any notable personal traits, your problem solving and communication and team skills, and why you would be a great candidate for the specific program that you're applying for. And so some tips, ask for permission before submitting their name. So ask for a strong letter of recommendation before you put their name down. Give them plenty of notice because professors tend to be very busy, and provide them with supporting material. So if you have to go and to the premedcc.org website, watch this video and pause the video right here on this page so that you can give them the pertinent information, go ahead and do that. That way that they know exactly what details they need to write about you on your letter of reference, okay? So your personal statement, this is a big part of your application because this is really what PIs and our committees are going to have to establish your need and your wants and your readiness for the program in which you're applying for. So show your preparedness for your program and the reasons why you want to apply. Tell the reader how you learned about the program in which you're applying for, in this case, the postbac program or the summer internship program or UGSP. Write about your research interests and your motivation. Describe your research interests, broad and specific, any relevant academic or work experience or research experience that has prepared you for the program in which you're applying for, as well as your career goals. So be complete but brief and write well, read it, correct all of your grammatical errors, make sure you've corrected all those typos, have somebody else read it and make sure it's clear and concise. Okay? And so that's step one of the application. Now, this is step two for those of you who are applying for the general SIP as well as the postbac program. You are going to need to identify research mentors and contact these mentors and have them interview you, whether that be in person or virtually, most likely virtually, so that you can hopefully receive an offer. So you can go to the NIH intramural research website to identify specific areas of research. And Juman, I'm going to share this presentation with you so that you can have a lot of the links that are embedded in this presentation, and you can share that with your community, okay? Okay. And so we have, like I said, an NIH intramural database, which is where you can get the annual reports for the current projects that are being worked on at the NIH, as well as get a opportunity to watch this video, How Do I Find an NIH Mentor, which will be very beneficial for you. So NIH PIs, NIH investigators, we call them PIs, choose their own trainees. PIs may search the database, but in most cases, it's going to be crucial that after you apply, you contact the NIH investigators with whom you want to work in and explain your interest in the work that they're doing. You may have to contact as many as 20 PIs and follow up with them before you find a lab that's a great fit for you and that PI, okay? So keep in mind when you're reaching out to the NIH investigators, no generic emails. So you want to include a brief introduction of yourself, a description of why you're interested in their work, and be specific. Talk about your previous research experience and why you want to be at the NIH as a postbac, as a summer intern, and make it easy for them to learn more about you. Refer them to your completed application. All applications in the system have application numbers. Provide that for your PI that you're emailing, okay? So, interviews with potential mentors for postbac programs, it's almost highly likely that you will be interviewed. For summer internships, you may be interviewed, you may not be interviewed. So, and sometimes these interviews are virtual, over Zoom, by phone, or in person. It's a critical stage for the group to determine if you're a good fit for them, as well as for you to determine if they're a good fit for you. So I have another link here for, some tips on finding a mentor in the intramural research program, some things to be considered, the type of research that's being done, the culture of the group. You want a group that meshes well together and you can work well together. So get an idea of what kind of culture you're looking for. The mentoring philosophy as well as the management style of the PI. So you also want to talk to the group, the people in the lab that work for the PI. Ask them as many questions as you can with the time that you're offered. And some final tips. You can check out our frequently asked questions. Again, check your essays and all of your writing for grammatical errors. Clearly express and be organized with the information. Ask for feedback from any of the resources that you currently have. Create your documents in a plain text format. Please do not use Microsoft Office because it does not copy well into the application portal that we use. And then also broaden your opportunities by applying to more than just the NIH. And like I said, there's some other opportunities at the NIH once you are in graduate school or in medical schools. So some other resources for you to check out. So the Graduate Partnership Program, for those of you who are in four-year universities or about to graduate and want to go to graduate school, you can do your graduate research at the NIH, do the hosting from your home institution that you're getting your graduate degree from, or we have a summer internship program for those of you who are entering your first year of medical school. Following that first year, you can apply for our MSOR program, which is for first year medical students, or for those of you who are going to medical school and want to do a year of research after your second or third year, we have what's called the Medical Research Scholars Program just for you. And then some other opportunities. Once you get a little bit further down the line, I'll let you guys explore these at your leisure. And the NIH cares about you. So if you need health information, go to the nih.gov. If you need information on training opportunities within the NIH, go to training.nih.gov. You can subscribe to our NIH YouTube channel where we host a lot of educational materials that you're welcome to review at any time you like. We do have a summer internship program webinar coming up. I believe this is next Thursday from 3 to 4. If you're interested, you're welcome to come to our website and register for it. We also have a question and answer series for both postbacs and summer internship programs coming up on January 19th. Now, keep in mind, this is the day after the CSEP and CSOR applications are due. So if you have questions about those, please send them to our sip@nih.gov after you check our frequently asked questions website. If you have questions about the postbac program, we have a link for that. Questions about UGSP, we have an email box for that, as well as just general questions about the Office of Training and Office of Intramural Training and Education. We have a link for you for that. And now I will take any questions you have.
All right. The first question is, can you hear me right? The first question is, are there opportunities for post-undergraduate students? Which you already covered that. There is a postbac program, and then this one person wanted to know if they have graduated 3 years ago, can they apply for the postbac program?
If
They
it's
graduated in 2021.
so they would have to apply this year to still be eligible for the postbac program.
Okay, perfect. Other question: what is the GPA you are looking for?
So for what program? Because most of the only program that has a GPA requirement is UGSP, and that's a 3.3.
What about the CSOR and the CCR?
So for my two summer programs, I do not have a GPA requirement.
All right. For the community college summer enrichment program, would it be acceptable if both of my letters of recommendation come from my employment and volunteer experience rather from my science?
So your employment and volunteer experience will give me a bit about your work ethic, but they can't speak to your scientific merit, which your science professors will be able to speak more to. And so you probably would be better off having one come for either your employer or the volunteer work and one coming from a science professor.
The other question is, can one of your letters be from a science professor and one from an English professor?
Yes, they can be. But again, science professors got to talk about your scientific merit, and then your both professors, you want them to talk about your potential for success in the program.
Is the SIP the same as the CCSEP?
Say that one more time.
It's the SIP program. Is it the same as the CCSEP program, which is the community college program?
So, did you say FAP?
SIP.
Okay, so the SIP, the general SIP is just a summer internship program, and the CSEP program is a cohort program, which is a part of the summer internship program. So yes, they're the same program technically, but one of them is a cohort program, so it's a bit more structured, where you will be matched with a PI and have educational training specific to your cohort, whereas the SIP is you have to select a PI and reach out to those PIs. So it's more flexible in where you're going to end up, as well as the training. You get to choose what kind of training you want to do. There is no, cohort specific training regimen already set up for you. You have to decide what you want to do. So yes, they're similar, and one of them just a cohort program.
This person wants to know, is there an NIH in San Diego region? Because one of their professors has NIH funding.
So there's no NIH in California, unfortunately, or I would probably be there. um, so your professor has extramural grant funding, which is provided by the NIH.
Awesome. Can you unshare your screen because it keeps bouncing back and forth on this?
Yeah.
Um, if I complete my application by this month but don't get my reference letters until February, does that count as an incomplete application, referencing chances of getting a position as the months go by? So the deadline is the deadline, right? Even for the letters.
Yes, the deadline is the deadline, even for the letters. But for the general SEP, the deadline for the letters is the 26th of February. And so basically what happens is once you've completely filled out your application and hit the submit button, it's what's called an active application. So PIs can see it. and it's up to the PI's discretion if they want to accept that application and go through it without the references and meet with you. They're still probably going to want to have those reference letters before they choose to select you as an applicant. But again, that's going to be up to the PI's discretion whether they want to look at the application without the reference letters. But it won't be considered a complete application until the reference letters are there.
And this should answer this person's question. Are letters of recommendation really required for applying?
Yes.
They want to know, can a full-time community college student with a prior bachelor degree apply to the CCSCP?
Yep.
They can, okay.
Yes, they can.
They want to know where the list of the PI contacts. We'll post it with the PowerPoint because I tried to look for it and I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
So,
it's a link with the embedded in this presentation.
yeah,
Awesome.
we'll post it. Are you allowed to be enrolled in summer classes while being part of SIP?
No.
The SIP, I'm sorry.
We don't, because it's a full-time job, basically it's 40 hours a week. There's really no time to take summer classes.
This person wants to know if the CCSCP application deadline is February 19th or January 8th.
It's January 8th for the CSOR and CSIP. The cohort programs is January 8th. The SIP, SIP, general SIP is February 19th.
So the CSEP is January 8th.
Yes.
For the CSEP, do the two science related courses need to be prior to continue the application deadline or prior to the program starting?
Prior to the program start date. So if you are taking them in the spring, you need to note the classes that you're taking this spring so that we know that they're on the list. But completion needs to just be before the start date of June 2nd.
Is there a separate application for the SIP and the CSEP?
Nope. It's the same application. You're just going to select either SIP or CSEP. You can't choose both of them. You can only select one. But as a part of the CSEP or CSOR application, you can select within the application to have your application transferred to the SIP application portal if you are not selected for the cohort group.
What is the ideal word count we should aim for in the personal statement?
About 1,000 words.
1,000 words, not 1,000 characters, because those are two different.
Not a page is what you're aiming for.
Could we and should we apply for the virtual summer internship program if we are traveling during the summer?
If you don't have the time to dedicate the 40 hours a week for up to 10 weeks, I would suggest applying for the summer internship on us in a summer where you have the time. So
yes, if you're summering through Europe during that time, would probably enjoy your trip rather than
definitely.
How does the postbac program feel about how does the postbac program feel about people wanting to become MD PhDs?
No, we have plenty of them.
Yeah, a lot of people that do MD PhDs spend a year at NIH.
Definitely. I had a fellow that I'm working with helped her with through her application, just told me yesterday she got accepted into an MD PhD program. So very common.
I'm a community college student based in California and interested in the summer internship at NIH. If I do get accepted, is it possible to request housing from the NIH?
Unfortunately, we don't offer housing, but we do have a link on our website about how you can get housing. And what a lot of people do is a lot of the universities in DC are closed over the summer, like American University, and they host their dorms as housing for summer internship students at the NIH. I had a student from California last year who stayed in one of the dorms at American University for the summer.
Yeah, Rachel. Um, yeah, there's a lot of universities. There's American, there's Catholic, there's Georgetown. There's also a couple of schools in there. So yeah, you'll find housing, and it's cheaper than California. So us California folks are always like housing is always like.
Especially where you guys live at.
Does the NIH only support hard sciences, or are there PIs that conduct social sciences?
Yeah, there are PIs that do social, behavioral, all that good stuff.
I'm currently a community college student trying to complete my science courses, and I already have a BA. Am I eligible to apply to CSEP?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a student at the HBCU. Do I qualify for the program?
Qualify for what?
They're an HBCU student, and they want to know if they qualify for the S, SIP program or the CSO program.
They, depending on their level of research, they may be eligible for CSOR, and they're definitely eligible for CSEP. We have a lot of students from historically black colleges and universities. We have some right down the street, Howard.
Does admission into SIP mostly depend on being able to find a PI? Are applications viewed holistically for the SIP program?
So we get a significant number of applications, and PIs only have so much time. So a lot of times, what people do, at least for the SIP applications, is they'll look for individuals who are, so you can do like a search, and they look for individuals who are interested in their area of research, and look at those applications, because as you know, as a part of your personal statement, we want to know what your research interests are. And so if your research interests are far away from the research that I'm doing, they're probably not going to look at your application. And so it's always best to just reach out to them, make it easier on them.
How many spots are selected for the CSEP program?
So for the cohort programs, it's about 10 to 20% of the applicants get selected. So,
But there's another data I want to share with you too, is that 100% of people that don't apply are not going to get in.
mhm.
So, yeah, so instead of trying to figure out like what's the percentage or how many spots, apply and let.
Apply and follow the directions of the personal statement and the references, and you'll have a better shot than because a lot of people don't follow the prompts.
Yeah, yeah, just make sure you follow the directions and apply on time. Is there, so what is the stipend for the SIP, or if there's a stipend for the SIP?
There is a stipend. It depends on your grade level. And so it's different if you're a freshman up to a senior. And I don't know it off the top of my head, but it ranges around $3,000 a month.
Um, yes, we'll share the presentation later and we'll post it on the page, um, where you registered. And then, are there any internships in the winter at the
So
NIH?
the post-bac is year round. We don't have anything that's specific for the winter, but if you're a post-bac, you're going to be expected to be here during the winter. What type of, I'm not sure what kind of internship you're looking for. Because if you're talking about like this time of month, most of the people at NIH are going on vacation right now for the holidays.
Yeah, I think they're asking for like winter quarter,
Winter
like
quarter, okay.
January till March.
We don't have any programs that are January till March, but like I said, if you're graduating or graduated, you'd be here as a post-bac.
Yeah, if you're looking for winter break research, there's going to be none. People are going to be gone. Um, does the letter of recommendation need to come from a professor, or can it come from a PI from my college for the CSOR program?
Yeah, it can come from a PI.
How long is the SIP program?
10 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks.
They want to know, I guess it's part of the prompt in the application. Refer them PI to your complete application. What does that mean? Is there a way to export our application, or do we just
So
provide the individual material that are submitted in our application?
you can provide the PI with your application number. So just note what your application number is. Every application has a unique number.
But uh, so they want to know what's the separate deadline for the CSEP. So the application deadline is 8th, January 8th, and then
Mhm.
the faculty letter is January 15th, right?
Let me make sure, but I think you're right. Yeah, the 15th for the faculty letter and the 8th for the application.
And you have to submit your application. You have to at least open your application in order for them to be able to submit it.
Yeah, you have to submit your application. Then your references will get a link to submit their letter.
So again, I think this is you already answered this, but this is they want more clarification. Is if they admit if they have submitted their application for the CSEP program but get rejected, can they transfer their application to the SIP program?
Yes, there's a box in your application that you can check or select before submitting it that says if you're not accepted to the CSEP or CSOR program, your application will be automatically transferred to the SIP program.
They want to know, can they apply for the CSEP program if they finish community college in May 2025? Since I'm technically not a community college student anymore, when the
You technically
you
are.
are, you technically are. You're technically a university student until your first day
Yeah.
you walk into your class. Can one person apply to multiple programs at once?
No.
Are nursing majors included in the USGP? What other programs that will be best fit for someone in nursing or want to go into nursing?
So you can, sorry. Yes, nursing is a STEM degree. We actually do have a lot of nurses at NIH who do clinical research. And so, depending on what your interests are, research wise, you can get involved with clinical research and work with nurses, one on one.
Yeah, most clinical research is done. A lot of it, well, some of it's done by nurses because they have to do point of care. So
Yeah.
you
And
have
we
to be a
also have
nurse.
nurse practitioners. So, a lot of nurses at NIH.
Okay, so this person wants to know, would a stronger application contain two letters of recommendation from science professors rather than one from a non-science professor and one from a science professor?
It depends on what those letters say. And so they need to, like I said, speak to your merit, your interests, and your abilities.
This person wants to know, how can they apply to nursing research opportunities?
Um, I would look into the clinical research. So on what is this, slide 15, we have a list of, let me share it real quick. So on this slide, right here, we have clinical research. I'm going to say that's going to be the best place for you to start.
And yes, we will share this as soon as it's done. Dr. Hill's gonna email it to me, and then we'll post it on the website. Anybody else have any other questions? Oh, this person wants to know, you check for Chat GPT.
We do our best to, yes, check for AI because we want, authentic applications, not what Chat GTP wrote. And
Yeah,
it's very, Chat GP is a chat box. It can't talk personally about your experience. So it's kind of really easy to tell if it was written by Chat GPT.
yeah. Actually, it's funny because some applications now even ask you if you have used Chat GPT. They ask you like before you start.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Chat GPT is not applying for the research program. All right. Anyone else have any other questions? Ask now or forever. Um, I don't. All right. Well,
Great, great.
it's pretty late where Dr. Hill is. So,
Yes, it is. It's 9:15, 16.
all right. Well, we won't keep you any longer. And thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you
Uh,
for having